I forgot to change my shoes today. Sorry about that, everybody, but welcome back to Young and Excellent. We are so excited with another amazing episode. And yes, I'm wearing Crocs with a nice outfit. Don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. So this platform is for young people, young entrepreneurs, young anything under the sun to come on and share their journey, share their work, and share their life with us, which is honestly such an honor. So make sure to like and subscribe and keep following all things Young and Excellent. And a quick shout out to our favorite sponsor, the Sarnia Journal. Thank you for uplifting our voices and making sure we are heard through your daily email blast. And make sure you subscribe to their daily email blast to keep you in the know. Thank you so much, Sarnia Journal. We love you. On this week's episode, we are joined by Ava, a fantastic young person in the Sarnia-Lambton community who lives in Petrolia and loves Petrolia, as do I. But not only is she an advocate for her community, she's also super passionate about youth services with the Yes Summit coming up in Petrolia, and also what she goes to university for out east. Even though she is far long away during the year, she is back, ready in action for the Youth Engagement Summit. And I honestly loved hearing her journey. I think she's got such a great energy. And my, oh my, I just am in awe of everything she has done and everything she's accomplished. And so we hope you enjoy this episode and definitely check out the Yes. Well, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you today. So how's your day?
My day's pretty good. I was just at the Victoria Playhouse watching
nice.
One of the shows, Make 'em Laugh.
Oh, cute.
Definitely made me laugh.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah.
I love BPP. Like, honestly, like, everyone over there is just so helpful and so amazing. Like, I love all their shows, and everyone who's in the cast are always just, like, so lively and just fantastic to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a big theater buff then?
Yes, I did music for a long time. So I did voice lessons for like 6-7 years.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. And I was in the Lambton Youth Choir in my younger days.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes, theater and music are really great.
Okay, well, then we have, like, a shared interest
Yes,
there.
yeah.
But what do you get up to? Like, what do you do for, like, a living?
So right now, I'm a university student. I just finished my first year at Mount Allison University in New Brunswick. And yeah.
That's like a long way from home.
It is a little bit of a
Do you
ways.
like, is it online or is it like in person?
No, it's in person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So graduated high school and then you just took off to New Brunswick.
Yep. So I went to LCCVI in Petrolia, go Lancers.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I finished in June and I decided I wanted to go out east, kind of experience different kind of culture in Canada.
Yeah.
And yes, it's been great. I really love it.
That's awesome. Sorry, did you say what you were taking?
No, so
what are you
I'm
taking?
doing an honors degree in philosophy, politics, and economics, and a double minor in community engagement learning and Canadian public policy.
Oh, that is
So
so
far,
cool.
we'll see.
Yeah. So what made you go into that? That sounds like an amazing degree, but also very complicated and like probably hard, I would assume. Like lots of essays.
Yeah. So I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. I always thought about being a teacher for a long time, but I think kind of this day and age and a lot of my work previously has been a lot about advocacy and community work. So when doing my research, I found this program at Mount Allison. It's the only one in Eastern Canada that offers it, and 1 in 5 in Canada, I think. So I really love it so far. It's very broad, it seems very different, but actually it all really works together so well. So I really enjoy it so far. I mean, I don't love economics, but we're getting through.
I was going to say economics. It seems like a trip. Whenever I hear anybody or like saw anybody studying for economics, I was always like, I will probably never do that because it's just so difficult. There's so many layers to it. So like, how are you finding, like you're done your first year. How are you feeling?
I'm done. This year I just took micro and macro. So micro is kind of like more individual based and macro is more like kind of a global scale. So it was definitely interesting. There's parts to it. I do like the kind of break that it gives me between like political science and philosophy that's a little bit more like very intense on readings and writings. So that was good, but yes, it is a little bit challenging, but the great thing about Mount Allison is it's actually really small. It's only 2,200 students.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we have that one-on-one connections with our profs more often. So you can just go to your prof's office hours for helps, or there's the Econ Help Center about 3 times a week that students go to. So, yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
And Google.
Yeah, honestly, Google's nice. I love that. So before we were like on camera, you were kind of talking about how like involved you are when you were involved in Lambton County and Sarnia-Lambton as a whole, but then also you're finding pathways at your university.
Yes.
So how is that going?
Great. Again, I feel like this is just a promo for Mount A. Like, hire me for your... But no, I really am very fortunate to enjoy my university experience so far. And with Mount A, because it's so small, you have a greater opportunity to be involved if you choose to. So this year, I had the privilege of being a first-year representative for the actual Mount Allison Student Union.
That's awesome.
So that was really cool. And working with other first-year students and people within that student union, we were able to make some changes and just kind of promote more of a community with first years, especially kind of that post-pandemic era.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was really great. Speaking with dining services, kind of encouraging them to change different ways they're doing things in the meal hall, kind of advocating for first-year students. It's really great.
Oh, that's awesome. See, I am very I love hearing people's experience in it because I was president of my college at my university.
Oh, okay.
So I'm I love being involved in student politics, and I love being an advocate in my own community. And so I feel like the best place to learn that is Sarnia-Lambton because there's so many opportunities. So what kind of opportunities were you into when you were here in high school?
Yes. Okay. Back to my, Lambton County roots. Love Lambton County. And so I think I just mentioned it, but I am from Petrolia, Ontario. Small little town.
I love Petrolia. I'm doing my placement there right now at St. Philip's. I love that.
Oh, you're at St. Philip's?
Yeah. Oh my God,
nice.
I love it. I love Petrolia.
Yeah, I went to Queenie.
Oh, nice. Nice. There you go.
St. Philip's, okay. Yes, a couple of my friends went there, so that's really great. Yeah. So I guess in high school, very involved in student council, which led to co-prime minister, and we did a lot of great things. One thing in particular was our Hunger for Halloween food drive. So the year that I did it, I think we donated around 800 pounds of food to our Petrolia community refrigerator. So hopefully I think that's still continuing. I think they did it just this past year again. So that's really great. And I also started the environmental club.
Nice.
LCCBI, so we reinstated the recycling program, we did a community garden, and so it was really great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really
so
great.
That was really what motivated you to continue that work in university.
Yes, for sure.
And so why do you feel so passionate about advocacy? Because you mentioned that a few times, that environmental club.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm all for that. I love environmental clubs. I think I joined every single one I could when I was a kid. But so why do you feel so strongly about advocacy work?
That's a great question. I think, for me, my grandmother has been a really strong influence in my life. So she actually teaches at Lambton College.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And she runs a day program for adults with developmental disabilities. So she's done that since I was 6. And I was very involved with that in my childhood. But watching her advocate and creating something really powerful for those individuals that kind of need a little bit more extra support, but really encouraging them to be independent, and just seeing that kind of change that she was able to make in those individuals' lives as well as their families was really powerful. But also in the system, I know I think just recently she did a presentation and a talk at Lambton, I think, about her experience with her brother and how he was treated in that system, and really pushing for those changes that we absolutely need to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, I feel very passionately about that. But for me, I think my kind of passion really is youth, especially, and opportunities for youth, and to encourage them to get involved. And part of my degree is actually community engagement learning, which kind of sounds like, oh, what is that? But it's really actually learning how to interact with communities, specifically rural communities. So when you come in, if you're a little bit of an outsider, you don't know things how they run exactly, you're there to watch and kind of learn what's happening and then kind of give your perspective and inputs about how can we change these things in these rural communities to really give the best opportunity, especially for youth. So I guess this is kind of a punchline for what I'm going to talk about next, which is the Petrolia Youth Advisory Committee. So we're now a subcommittee under Parks and Rec for the town of Petrolia, but we've done some really amazing things and just working with some really great people. The town council, I know 2 town councilors, Deb and Chad, are
Shout out to Deb and Chad.
Deb and Chad. Deb Patel and Chad Hyatt, I just love them so much. They're amazing people and really feel strongly about the youth. And the adults that sit on the committee are fantastic. And of course, our youth are really great. So I'm sorry, I'm just like talking so much. It's like a monologue.
Don't even worry. Go for it. Go for it.
So what the youth committee is doing right now is we're actually hosting our Youth Engagement Summit on May 10th, Saturday at the Petrolia YMCA, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So this event, a lot of work has been put into this by our chair of this event, which is Juliana Grant, and she's also so fantastic.
Shout out to Juliana. Juliana.
Yeah. So they're so great, and Reagan and Ashley.
Reagan and Ashley. Shout out to them.
They're also some of the youth on the committee.
Oh, nice.
They're great. So this event, and Kristen, I can't forget about Kristen.
Don't forget Kristen.
And Wade. So this event is we did this back in October of 2023, and we had a lot of vendors kind of speaking with the youth, how ways to get involved in the community, different career opportunities, and then we had some really fantastic speakers really highlighting mostly mental health. I know one of the town councilors, Deb, I work with her, but she does No One Stands Alone, which is a nonprofit for mental health and in Lambton County. So you've probably seen those orange booklets. They're around everywhere.
I love those things.
Yes.
They're so helpful.
They really are. She's done an amazing job with that. So this event, our previous Youth Engagement Summit was very focused on that, but this time it's going to be focused a little bit more about kind of leadership and community involvement. So we have some really great speakers lined up. I know them both personally, but the one in particular, Annie Rowe, she was Petrolia Fair Ambassador before I was, and she's a fantastic person, and just her story is very powerful and how she's made such a difference kind of in her life and the challenges she's overcome to really do something great, and her involvement with the town of Petrolia. And then there's lots of interactive games and activities. The event is completely free lunch. It's free lunch. Yeah, everything's free. So, yes.
That's awesome. I'm very passionate about youth engagement. So before I veered into Teachers College now, I was the marketing and fundraising person for Rebound.
Okay.
And so
amazing.
Youth engagement, I was on the committee for it. Like, I think it's so important to make sure youth are actually like fully engaged and that they feel like they have autonomy over their own lives and their own stories and their journeys. And so I love that Petrolia is getting skin in the game and a summit. How wonderful. So were you a part of last year's summit too?
Yes, then the one in 2023 I was a part of, and then this again. So we're really encouraging everybody to come out. It's aimed at youth in Petrolia, but we welcome everybody. So if you're interested, you can follow us on Instagram, which is YAC, so it's YAC Petrolia on Instagram, and there's all of our details on there.
Oh, awesome. That is so exciting. So like, as you're gearing up for all this, like, are you starting to get like just like excited and like really like pumped to just see it all happen again?
Yes, it's like, I mean, planning events kind of this large scale, I've had a lot of experience previously, so it gets a little overwhelming. I'm not as behind the scenes as I was previously, but I mean, the people that are fantastic, and I have no doubt that this will be a great event again, and just it's a way for youth to meet other youth in kind of the Sarnia-Lambton community, specifically Petrolia, but it's just really great, and to hear some fantastic speakers about their journey and how ask them questions, which is really great. Like, sometimes you don't always get a chance to ask, like if you happen to hear a guest speaker, some of those questions you want to, but hopefully at this event you will be able to.
Oh, that's awesome. And so youth engagement in rural communities tends to be a lot more difficult
Absolutely.
than you find in like cities or like hubs like Sarnia. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I don't think Sarnia is a full city because I'm like, there's so many retirement homes. I'm like, man, could we like, but at the same time, like Petrolia is way less. And like I'm thinking of like I live in Corunna, like even that's
Okay,
way
yeah.
less. And so I'm thinking of all these communities that we have where like there's no transport, there's no like ability to kind of connect them to the hub of like Sarnia is. And so for you and your experience as a young person, because you're still a youth yourself,
Yes,
which is awesome.
I'll be 19
Hey,
next month.
There you go. There you go.
I know.
But I'm just curious, your experience being in a rural community, like how did that affect you growing up? And it could be positive. When I say affect, it doesn't have to be negative.
Yeah,
but
no.
how did that affect you?
Yes, I'm a small town girl at heart. I really am. My university is actually in a small town. It's actually same size as Petrolia, which is really kind of weird. Like you don't get that, but it is. So I'm very fortunate to have a pretty positive experience growing up, but a lot of that is strong family support, but I know not every young person is fortunate for that. I know the town is trying to encourage more of that, especially with this committee, and we have a great soccer association, minor hockey, figure skating, but absolutely there could always be some more opportunities. Hopefully that's coming our way soon. I would love to see that happen, but it is difficult in rural communities, mostly because of that resource element. It's
I was
so
gonna
difficult.
say your city's budget's a lot less. Your ability to reach your audience is a lot less. Like all the pools are smaller, and then on top of that, some of the services they don't get as much funding because you're not hitting as many people, and the population isn't as large. And so I find with rural communities, a lot of those resources just end up getting outsourced or just kind of like into something else, maybe like a park or something. But in terms of like opportunities for youth, what would be your dream to see in Petrolia? Like if you could say like, I got this grant for like 10 grand, I'm gonna go with it. Like what opportunity would you want to give the youth?
Oh, that's a good question.
I know it's a hard
I have to
question.
like kind of think a little bit.
Oh, don't even worry. I always think about this with Sarnia too because I'm very like much a theater person, so I do Act 2's program with Rebound, and then I'm always thinking of like other ways to create more theater. But then I'm also like I love basketball, so I could do that. But then I'm like hoops is great, and then you like start thinking about all the other things, and so sometimes it is difficult to kind of think about what opportunities you really would want to give or like see in your community. Because there already is a lot.
Yes.
And Petrolia has a lot too.
They do. I think what I would like to see is if like some money were allocated for that, wouldn't necessarily go to creating new opportunities, but would go to making existing opportunities affordable. Because we have to keep in mind we have a lot of I would consider myself, I come from a pretty like privileged family. I did figure skating growing up, swimming, all that. My brother's baseball, hockey, all that jazz.
Yeah.
And music lessons, we both did that. But that's quite costly. Yeah. And for some of families, especially in this kind of time right now, it gets pretty pricey. So I think having that, maybe that kind of a program where families that maybe can't afford putting their kids in after school sports or music or anything of the sorts, that program would go to kind of easing those funds. I think that would be really great. If it's paying for equipment, it's paying for just the initial price of doing that activity. I think that would be really beneficial.
Honestly, snaps for that because I always tell people like everyone's like, oh, but kids can do this and kids can do that. I'm like, yeah, but who's paying for it? And on top of that, like families right now are the ones I think that are struggling the most because our economy is just shot. And it just sucks to see so many families struggling to just provide opportunities like figure skating or like hockey because they want to give what they received when they were young people as well. And so I think that's such a great perspective to have, that like accessibility should be at the forefront. So maybe it's not about creating new opportunities, but about making sure that the opportunities that are here, they stay and they're accessible for everyone. Because every young person deserves those things.
Absolutely.
I love that you said that. That's a really great perspective to have. But I'm also just fascinated that your university is in a town that's the same size as Petrolia. I am just so like, how did you like find that?
Good question.
I didn't even know about this university.
It's super funny. So it's funny because we're actually the #1 undergraduate university in Canada.
Oh, well, then there you go.
So I know we have
tiny but mighty.
Yes. So I guess I can talk a little bit my journey to finding my place at Mount A. So originally I did SHAD Canada. So SHAD is a science program for all of Canada. I'm not a science girly, but for that month I was.
There you go.
So, well, it's actually STEM, but our STEAM, actually. It's STEAM.
Steampunk.
Yeah. So, a lot of universities in Canada has this. I'm not sure the exact number, but a lot of in Ontario, UBC, all that. So, I applied for the program, and fortunately, I was accepted, so that was great.
Yeah, I wish I had a confetti cannon.
I know, it was pretty costly, but it was worth it. And then I was actually placed at Dalhousie in Nova Scotia. So this was really unique because I flew to Dal by myself, this little, like, I was grade 11, and then I was at the university for a month with 50 kids across Canada my age. So it was really kind of neat, and I got to listen to lectures from professors and different professionals. I dissected a shark's stomach, which was really gross, but
I was gonna say, the frog wasn't enough for me.
And we did a lot of fun things. We went to PEI. We watched the Barbie movie, actually.
Oh, Barbie top tier. Did you get ice cream in PEI?
Oh, cows, obviously.
I was gonna say, you gotta go to cows. The shirts too, fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and we did that, but the whole point of the program was a design project. So we were put into our smaller groups, and then we were given the question, what was the question? It was like, how do you make community spaces in Canada more accessible, sustainable, and to build community connection? Oh, nice. So, but we were kind of given free range. So my group actually coded a website. I did not do that. And it was called Seconds. And the purpose of this was to take food from restaurants and grocery stores that they couldn't sell anymore, but that was still good. And we incorporated a dehydration aspect to that, and then transported to community spaces like homeless shelters, soup kitchens, community refrigerators, that sort of stuff. So that was really kind of cool to work with kids across the country for something kind of like that, really challenging
100%.
How you interpret questions like that. So that was really great, but getting back to my main point, I really fell in love with Dalhousie in Halifax, and I really liked it. So I then applied, when I was doing all my university stuff, I applied to universities in Ontario and the East Coast and UBC. I got in, which was great to all of them. But I really liked Dal, but then I was kind of thinking, I want a university that would give me a little bit more opportunities in the sense, meaning ability to get involved right off the bat. And while Dal is great, it is about, I think, 20,000 students, which that gets a little tricky to do because now you're competing with a lot of different really great and talented people for positions, but also just the actual academic portion of it, being able to go and talk to my profs, having my profs actually know me by name, and the smaller class sizes, but just the atmosphere that a small campus kind of gives in a small town. And I wasn't really ready to leave that yet. I really love Petrolia. It just kind of suits my personality. And Sackville and Mount A does the same. So yes, I'm really glad with my decision. Whatever I do after probably post-grad, I will probably still go to Dal or somewhere out in the Maritimes. My dad's from Newfoundland. Oh, so,
nice.
Yeah,
Newfie culture.
I got some Newfie blood in me. So, yeah. No, it's really
awesome.
great.
It's so beautiful out there. I haven't been able to make it out there yet. I've done a lot of like the West Coast, and now I'm ready to do the East Coast. But I just hear such amazing things. Like my stepdad has a lot of like Newfie blood, and so like I just hear all the stories, and like I just love seeing all like the TikToks and the memes about like how you can't understand some people because it's just such thick accents. But is it like really cool like to kind of be immersed in like Irish and Scottish culture, because they go pretty hard over there. Like I feel like it's such a different world.
It's good. So Sackville, like where my university is right on the border of Nova Scotia, actually, like Amherst. So yeah, you get kind of that culture. It's more Newfoundland, in my opinion.
Fair.
But what's really interesting is that New Brunswick's bilingual.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's the only bilingual province. Everybody else is like allophones, and then Quebec is francophone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so New Brunswick's bilingual, which, I mean, I need to work on my French because it's not very good.
Voulez-vous coucher?
Yeah. No, I could say bonjour, je m'appelle Ava. That's as good as it gets. That really is.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of cool. But it's just that, I don't know how to describe it. It's that vibe. For me personally, I like being able to walk, outside of my residence or outside of my house back in Petrolia, and down the street into the grocery store, and people, knowing who I am or talking to them, just kind of that interaction. It makes you feel like a person, and not necessarily like kind of like a number, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. I totally get that. I think it's so important to feel a part of something, and I think a lot of people take for granted the sense of belonging and what that actually does for like your mental health and like your physical well-being and just who you are as a person, how you show up. Like I think a sense of belonging is probably one of the most important things to have. So I'm so happy you have that in Petrolia, but then you also have it in your university.
Absolutely.
But is that also kind of why, because you found it and you feel so confident and strong in it, that's why you're so like passionate about youth services, just because you want to make sure other young people feel the same way?
I know. I think that's a really great point. I know, like throughout my life, and I think a lot of it has to do with growing up kind of in the singing and like music and performing quite a bit. Kind of really gave me a lot of like, I guess, confidence when I'm interacting with other people, and just hopefully decent speaking abilities.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just being able to make that connection. And also I've worked in a restaurant since grade 9 as well.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so that kind of interaction with people and customer service kind of allows you to kind of really develop, even if you don't feel confident when you're in your room by yourself, but in front of people, confident but not cocky. But I think just being able to speak and present the best version of yourself, I was fortunate to have those experiences that kind of allowed me to be able to like sit and do something like this, or when I'm speaking 100%. To a big crowd of people, that sort of thing. But not every kid has that.
Yeah, true.
And or able to kind of face rejection. Like I've been told many times.
Oh yeah, no is something that you're gonna hear, and I feel bad for some of the young people that don't understand that quite yet, or like at an early age they didn't receive no, so then they get it later in life. But no is gonna happen. It's like literally, I've heard it so many times too. It also helps when music and theater is your background, because no's are just all over the place there. Because it's like, no, you didn't get the solo, or no, you didn't get the part. So it's like you kind of get used to it. But there's a lot of young people that don't get used to it at all, and I think that's such a great point, that like that rejection sensitivity is so heightened right now in life, and we all just need to take a deep breath and understand like a no, it just means you're supposed to be on a different path.
I agree.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh,
it's
I love that.
I mean, I heard this quote, so I'm not going to steal it, but it's like rejection is redirection.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's like really difficult to kind of get past that when you were really excited for that, or actually really expecting that you would get it.
Oh, 100%.
And you don't. So I've had that a couple of times, but it's okay, because I just think it's all part of this life, and it's just redirection.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's all part of this master plan, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. The universe works in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
but
sure.
we do have to wrap up, unfortunately. So we're headed towards the end of the episode. So I have one final question for you. What is the greatest piece of advice you've ever received, and would you like to share it with the listeners and watchers?
It's funny because I actually had to think about this a long time ago. just a quick, I was Petrolia Fair Ambassador. So I was at the CNE kind of in Toronto.
Oh, nice.
And so when we were all up on stage, the finalists were given this question actually exactly. So I thought about my answer, and it took me a while to really figure it out. But I think my advice, or the best piece of advice, and I still have to remind myself of this, but for other people, and kind of what we're talking about, is that failure is not final. It's just kind of going back to that, and it's hard, I think, for sure. I think some personality types adapt kind of quickly than others. But it's just understanding that eventually you'll get to where you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. And failure actually isn't really failure. It just means you've tried, and now do it again or go somewhere else. And it's a redirection you were talking about.
For sure.
Oh, I love that. Failure is not final. That's really, really nice. All right, so where can we find all the details for the event again?
Yes, so our big Youth Engagement Summit, or our YES event, is happening May 10th, Saturday in Petrolia at the YMCA, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Free registration and free lunch. All of our details are on the Youth Advisory Committee social media page, Yak Petrolia.
Yak Petrolia.
Yak
Check it out,
Petrolia.
everybody.
And Facebook.
And Facebook. Can't forget about Facebook. Good old Facebook.
Okay.
But yeah, it was so nice having you on the show. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And I look forward to hearing all about the event, the YES event, which is so cute.
Yeah.
So everybody check it out, and have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, bye.
Okay, is that good? Am I done?
Yep.
Am I done?
It's over.
Ready?
Oh shit.
Hello? It's for you.
Did you forget to turn it back on?
It's your mother.
My mother? Not again.
It's your mother.
What's she saying?
She's saying,
Go on. Say something.
eat the pasta.
I was gonna